Ah, hell. I'm in the wrong game again.
Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drakewing Gaming, and 70 miles toward the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Changeling Tale, Grace's Path. Sorry y'all, I took one of them green apple party rings, and oh god, it was more than I was used to, so this it's like 25 milligrams, and I'm used to taking like 10, so oh god, I can't even imagine what I'm going to be like in an hour. But anyway, y'all, I'm here before my coherency goes completely out the window, so let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? I also hate not knowing what Grace may be experiencing, but having a good idea of where she's gone off to softens the blow. Marion, I've felt much loss over the past few years.
Oh, Malcolm, I wasn't thinking. I'm very sorry if all my carrying on has offended you. I know that my sister's acting out is in no way the same kind of strife you've survived.
No apology needed. I simply wanted you to know that what seems difficult right now will have closure one day. You're in the thick of it, that's all. Marion looks at me with her doe eyes, tears drying, a tiny smile appearing.
Malcolm, your heart is larger than it needs to be. Thank you.
Oh, I can thank Gran for that. Even being gifted a piece of her heart gives me enough strength to endure the worst of days. Stay here, I'll fetch tea. I find the teapot on the stove and start heating the water. I don't mean to make light of the circumstances, but the stability and level-headedness in you is somewhere in your sisters as well. You've seen them at their best. I ought not to judge and say they're at their worst right now, but... well, now you've gone and dug a deep hole for yourself, Malcolm. How do I climb out?
I understand. And sally forth, eh? And forge on ahead.
Something like that. Settle in and relax, at least for a while. I'll go on the hunt for Miss Grace. The kettle whistles and I prepare Marion a strong brew. Seeing Marion pout gives me flashbacks of when I was upset as a lad. Gran would pour me a hot cup of tea and tuck me in under a cozy nest of blankets. Nothing made me feel safer or more at home. I set the teacup before Marion and began to cover her in quilts, but she pushes them away.
Wait, please! You didn't sign up for this, Malcolm. This is my family, my mess to make right.
Going into the unknown means relying on others. That's what I'm here for. It's why you came and found me. It won't do you any good to go out and...
Such a state?
I can't hold back my laughter. I was going to say in the heat of the day, but frankly I won't disagree with you. Rest, Marion. I'll go look for Grace. She really can't have gone far. If she's gone out into the Loch, though, I'll be at a disadvantage in getting her to return to dry land. Then an idea crosses my mind. You said Grace is in the bath all day. Has she had anything to eat yet?
What? No, I don't believe so.
Would it be alright to pack some food for her?
Oh, of course, help yourself.
Marion wraps herself into the quilts and appears quite a bit calmer. I take a cloth-lined basket and start to toss in some breads and cheeses.
You'll have better luck if you pack the jar of sardines. They're her favourite snack.
It sounds like Grace alright, and if the smell isn't enticing, it will at least be unmistakable. As I finish packing the picnic, I spy something in the back of the cupboard and set it in front of Marion. Marion blushes as she eyes a bottle of whiskey I place next to her. Either you'll see me later or you'll see Grace. I'm hoping for the latter, as I think that's what you would prefer.
Normally I might disagree, but today, yes, I'd like my sister back. Thank you so much, Malcolm. I just need to take a moment or two to myself. I'll be fine, I know I will.
I know you will too. Marion is more alert than she seemed just minutes ago. She nods, sips her tea, and winces. Too strong.
Too weak.
She pops open the whiskey and adds a healthy dose to her mug.
Alright, just find Grace, send her home.
Her eyes meet mine.
I need at least one sister back, please.
Outside, the confusion hits, hard. Scales, webbed toes, this is unreal. Is it some sort of ailment, disease, a skin infection? I hope it's treatable, there's not a doctor for miles. Even so, what can an apothecary offer for such a condition? I doubt there's a salve or tincture for treatment of sparkly unicorn scales. Heck, webbed toes aren't all that uncommon either, right? Maybe she just never noticed them on her own feet. Perhaps they grow more pronounced as you get older. I follow the wet patches of grass down the shoreline. Where else would I even bother to look? Just yesterday, Grace and I were so close, so vulnerable. I checked my arms for irritation or color changes. Everything looks normal. But is it? Am I? I'm all over my options. Gran will want me back on a reasonable hour to keep her worries at bay. Why is it that my life has gone from protecting my fellow soldiers to placating the familiar fears of a few women? I dare not overthink it lest I start craving a day drink, which, quite honestly, I already do. As I walk, I try to focus on the beating sun and cool shore breeze. Anything to distract from the memories creeping back into my mind. Those of a wicked nightmare, of my body contorted, taken from me, and sculpted into that of a woodland creature. There's no possible way it could happen to Grace, not the waking world, no way, even if the coincidences are there. No, I made it through a war with my sanity intact. I'm not going to lose my marbles over nightmares, or the theatrics of my neighbors. As much as I've enjoyed becoming closer to Grace, I can't help but feeling over my head. Is this duty I seem to have taken upon myself unreasonable? I'll have to decide. Once I find her, once we figure out her condition. A flash of blue catches my eye. It's just a common blue tit. There are clusters of those wildflowers by which Hazel is so easily distracted as well. The blue petals remind me of a light injury that I sustained at the Ains, or whatever it's called. It was the first time I fired my rifle in anger, and haste or nerves let the gun's recoil overcome my grip. That bruise on my shoulder stayed with me for weeks, going from the darkest red and black, mellowing to shades of light bluish purple. The memory of what or whom I shot at is one I put mental cement walls around, but the bruise, that low level of pain, is one I can think upon with some fondness. It was a sure sign that it would be alright, an injury from which recovery is guaranteed. Whatever Grace has must certainly be a treatable condition. Those iridescent marks, they will heal and fade with time. It will soon be forgotten, as will today. It has to be. I refuse to keep placing cement walls around so many of my days. A little further down the hill, I finally see Grace's blonde head bobbing offshore. She seems to be swimming without a care in the world, as if diving into a cold loch is habit for any and all. Yeah, okay. There's no sense in stealth. If last time was any indication, she's probably already spotted me. Sure enough, she ducks underwater like a submarine avoiding detection. I push back the thought that Grace doesn't want this affliction to heal. She wears it like a badge of honor. More than that, she wants more of it. Health risk aside, I sincerely hope the desire isn't insatiable, as I can't picture intimacy with scales falling off all around us. It's bad enough when I have to clean a perch before dinner. I shudder and approach the shore, waiting for her to resurface down current. Waiting, still waiting. Minutes pass and I begin to worry. How long can that girl hold her breath? Just as I start to fear the worst, I see a small figure breach the water, much, much further down the loch. Thank goodness, but how did she swim so far? Against the current, no less. I wave and am ignored. Well, at least I found her. Marion will have to be relieved. Getting Grace to come out of the water, though, will be the real struggle. Patiently, I find a soft patch on the shore and unpack the food I brought from the McLeod kitchen. Popping open the jar of sardines, I realize the smell will either bring Grace closer or send me packing. Who eats these? I leave the pickled cabbage unopened. There's only so much I can take right now. Instead, I tuck into a few salt crackers that were left behind in the basket. I'm much hungrier now that half the day has passed, and I realize I've yet to sit down to a proper meal. Hopefully whatever's happening to Grace hasn't impacted her appetite. I bite down into a third and fourth cracker and wait. Sure enough, after a time, I feel a pair of eyes on my back. Hungry. My heart thumps harder in my chest once more to see her. Flippers aside, Grace's beauty is immeasurable. She takes a cracker from me, her wet hair dripping onto my forehead. A pile of sardines goes on top, and she digs into it voraciously. Before I know it, she moves onto the cabbage, then back to the sardines, devouring them whole one by one. It seems her appetite is indeed impacted by her ailment, only it's boosted, not diminished. I only hope I brought enough food for the both of us. Grace interrupts my thoughts with a full mouth.
Malcolm, why did you follow me here?
One second, Neil. She digs around through the picnic basket.
Didn't you bring anything to drink? Everything is so salty. Hey, pass the crackers.
I do as I'm told. Your sister is hurt. She told me about Jessie leaving. With her gone and you hiding, well, Marion is devastated.
I'm sorry, I truly am. I won't avoid her forever. I have every intention of going home at some point.
Today, tomorrow. What will I tell her if I don't return you in one piece?
Malcolm, you're being so dramatic.
She chews, swallows, and winks.
Us McLeod girls must be rubbing off on you.
I laugh and my body relaxes. We sit in silence, finishing our meal. Looking out at the horizon, the sun reflects off the water and it's nearly blinding, but we still gaze. When I look back to Grace, my eyes see her as a shadow. Yet in that darkness, her scales are quite visible, glimmering through the black light. It's mesmerizing and haunting. It's also spread over nearly her entire body.
I know I have to go home. I can't live out here forever. At least not yet.
Do you really think someday you will?
That's my dream, Malcolm. To live in the sea among the waves.
Sounds awfully far-fetched, Grace. Think about it.
I have. And look at me now. I can hold my breath longer, stay warmer. Everything's better. I feel very sorry for Marion and all she's going through right now, but Jessie was going to leave. We all knew as much. Marion was just so unwilling to acknowledge it. Now?
Grace pauses and tucks her wet hair behind her ear. My eyes have adjusted and I'm reminded of her delicate features.
Well, now Marion has to accept that Jessie was ready to escape this town, and that maybe I will too one day.
My heart sinks a little. Part of me feels for Marion's plight, and part of me simply doesn't want to be deprived of the spirited lass before me.
My heart is with both my sisters. Theirs should be with mine, as well. If they love me, they'll want me to be happy. Besides, I'm going through as much as they are. Look at my body.
I have been.
Marion will survive. She'll have a fuller life with fewer of us to take care of.
It's quite an assumption.
Fine. Father will be home soon. She can take care of him.
Grace has gone from sincere back to callous fairly quickly. She's on the defensive, and I certainly don't blame her. Alright, y'all. I'm going to pause it right there. Alright, thank y'all so much for watching. I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video.
Bye-bye.